It's time for my April reading wrap-up. Monthly wrap-ups are my favourite videos of every month. I just love to talk about the books that I've read, the books that I've enjoyed, everything that I thought about them. And I can't remember how many I had this month, but I've got this in the physical pile and then quite a few on my Kindle as well. So buckle up, get a drink and let's chat. I've got my little Starbucks here that Josh just brought me. Anyway, so I'll just go through the physical books first. Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This follows on from Out on a Limb. It's basically a couple that were mentioned in Out on a Limb. This is now their book. And this is the first book that I've read where it's like marriage on the rocks. So this couple have been married for years and years and years. Like literally they met in like high school. They've been together basically their whole life, really. The female main character kind of is stuck in a bit of a rut, feeling like she doesn't know who she is on her own, like without her husband, like without him. She doesn't know what she's achieved on her own or what she is capable of on her own. She just doesn't feel like she's her own person anymore. So they basically, stuff happens and they end up going on this kind of it's like a camp for a week. You go to this it's like a couples retreat kind of thing, like couples therapy retreat, and it's where you go like camping and hiking and stuff for a week. The two main characters are absolutely not the kind of people that do that stuff at all. Like they love their home comforts and stuff. So it really is like throwing them out of their comfort zone. And I absolutely loved this book so much. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was so cute. I devoured it in literally one sitting. I couldn't put it down. I just had a brilliant time. I loved it. I really, really am liking Hannah Bonham Young's writing in this series. I highly, highly recommend if you're looking for a really good romance read. I think I would rate this 3.75 stars. When in Rome by Sarah Adams, which is book 1 in the When in Rome series. I have heard so many good things about Sarah Adams as an author, so I was really, really excited to read this book and it really didn't disappoint. I loved it so much. So this book follows our female main character who is like a pop star, she's like a singer, and she's kind of just like had enough. She's had enough of being in the limelight, being like worked to the bone. So she wants to go get away for a little while. She wants to go to Rome, but that's too far away and she's got commitments. So she ends up in Rome, Kentucky, and there she meets a very grumpy pie shop owner because her car breaks down in front of his house. And he's kind of sworn off like relationships and attachments and stuff because of what happened with his last relationship. So he's kind of like can't wait for her to get out of this town. Like he's like, please go away. And I don't really think I need to say much more than that. You can probably kind of tell where it's going. It's just the perfect small town rom-com, honestly. It's so cute and it's so funny and I absolutely loved it. I would rate this 3.5 stars. Then I read book 2, which follows on from When in Rome, which is Practice Makes Perfect, and that so far is my favourite of the series. I absolutely loved it. So the two main characters from When in Rome are Noah and Amelia, and Practice Makes Perfect follows Noah's sister and Amelia's bodyguard. So obviously they've met through Noah and Amelia, and now these two are kind of in close proximity and they're kind of instantly drawn to each other. But our female main character is like she's just known as being like the resident like good girl, like the town sweetheart, and she kind of is sick of that label. Like she doesn't know why she's ended up with that label, but she feels like she's like kind of had to play up to it because she doesn't want to like let anyone down or cause anyone any issues and stuff like that. So she's kind of like known as like the town sweetheart, and Will kind of like gives off like tattooed, dark haired bodyguard vibes, and he basically agrees to help her with her like kind of dating skills and stuff because she's got no experience. So he's kind of like helping her out with that. Again, don't think I really need to say much more. You can probably tell where it's going from there. I absolutely loved this one so much. This is my favourite of the series so far and I rated it 4 stars. Then I read book 3 of that series, which was Beg, Borrow or Steal. Really liked this one as well. So in this one, we've got our female main character and our male main character are both teachers. They work at the same school, but they also went to the same college. They've kind of been like rivals, academic rivals throughout their whole like life since high school or college really. So they've always had that like, they're always bickering. They're always like winding each other up. They're always competing with each other. Stuff happens anyway, and Jack, our male main character, ends up moving into the house next door to our female main character. So forced proximity, with all of that tension and banter and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's a recipe for perfection. It was so good. I rated this 3.5 stars. The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Oh my God. This is one of my favourite books of the year so far. So, I love Jessa Hastings anyway. She's one of my favourite authors in the world. The Daisy Hates books specifically are my Roman Empire. This book follows Georgia. So Georgia is our female main character. The book is told from her perspective in first person POV. And Georgia has got 3 siblings. So she's got a brother, Oliver, and then she's got another brother and sister. And her and Oliver were kind of like, they've just been treated horribly by their family, to be honest. And they were kind of like kicked out from home when they were younger. So Georgia and Oliver have been really the only family that each other has had. And years later, their dad dies. So obviously the family is reunited. And Oliver is a recovering alcoholic. So Oliver's AA coach is there with them all at this whole family reunion situation. And he becomes our male main character. That's all I'll say on the romance front, but oh my actual God. It's all told within the space of like those, I think it's like a week or 2 weeks. So the actual romance is kind of, a lot of people are saying it's insta-lovey, which it is, but it also just felt very natural. Like it didn't feel like, wow, you two are being silly. Like it didn't feel like that. I will also say like some of the stuff that both Georgia and Oliver go through in this book are like, it's just horrendous, like so difficult to read about. Yeah, we explore the relationship between Sam and Georgia. We explore the whole family dynamics and what went on with the family, why they treated Georgia and Oliver the way that they did. And yeah, I can't really say too much without spoiling it and like actually telling you literally what happens. So I'm not going to do that. If you have read the Magnolia Parks universe, there is a little Easter egg in here. Like you do get a little bit of crossover between some characters, but you don't need to read the Magnolia Parks universe to read this. And this is a complete standalone. So if you actually want to see if Jessa Hastings' writing style is for you, this is probably a good place to try that out because it's a standalone, it's not a big commitment. It's absolutely, as you can see, I annotated so much of it. The writing was absolutely gorgeous. I literally still I finished it at like the start of April and I just still keep thinking about it. I absolutely adored it. I absolutely adored it. And I could not recommend it enough. Then I read the last 2 books in the Legacy of God series by Rena Kent. God of Fury follows Bran and Nico. So this was actually my first romance and it did not disappoint. This was definitely my second favourite book of the whole series. What I really do like about this series as well is that it is obviously, it's the usual unhinged, spicy, dark romance, but it does have like such deeper like emotional depth to it. So mental health is a topic that's quite prominent throughout the series and especially in this book. So yeah, again, I can't really like say too much about these without spoiling them, so I won't, but absolutely loved this and rated this one 4 stars. This one I had really high hopes for, but it didn't live up to my high hopes because it does have a trope in there and it says it on the back, so I'm not spoiling it, but it's amnesia trope and I hate the amnesia trope because I just feel like when you get the amnesia trope, it feels like a lot of stuff happens off page, and that's what I felt like. I felt like a lot of the love story between the 2 main characters, I felt like it happened off page. We didn't see it enough. That's how I felt anyway. But I still rated this one 3.25 stars. Then I read Enigma by Runix. This is a dark, gothic, eerie romance. So our female main character, she basically goes to this university. Her sister had died whilst she was attending this university. So our female main character is really, really trying to find out what happened to her sister. And there's like secret societies and stuff like that. There's a really mysterious guy, our male main character. He's really, really mysterious. Like really, she thinks he's hiding stuff, so she's trying to figure that out. It's just very, very mysterious. I know I keep saying that word, but it is just like the mystery elements were so good and that's what really, really kept me on my toes with it. The spice was great. I feel like this actually, as far as dark romances go, I feel like this was maybe quite tame. Obviously, I think you should check your trigger warnings with any dark romance, but I think if you wanted to dip your toe into the genre and you've not really read much dark romance yet, then maybe this would be the place to start. The only thing is, I just feel like we had this whole book of mystery and then it was resolved in like 2 pages. And I was like, oh, is that it? So that kind of knocked my rating down a little bit. I would rate this 3.5 stars. I read Iron and Embers, which is book 1 in the Ashes of Thesmar series by Helen Scheurer. I am loving Helen Shawra this year. She's becoming one of my favourite authors. I think she's brilliant. I do recommend reading the Legends of Thesmar series before you start this one though, because you'll have the backstory and you'll just know about so many of the characters that you'll meet in here. So yeah, I just think, plus the Legends of Thesmar series is amazing, so I recommend it anyway. But definitely read it before reading this. But I absolutely loved this. Not sure how much I can tell you about it without spoiling it, but our female main character, Ren, is a healer, so she's really good with like healing and potions and stuff like that. And then we've got our male main character, Torj, who is one of the war swords, and the war swords are like the best warriors in their world. Like there's only a small number of them, and he is one of them, and he's basically been assigned to be her bodyguard while she's at this elite school for healers, if that makes sense. Well, I say school, she's in like her late 20s, so it's not like school, but you know what I mean. But yeah, close proximity, loads of tension, and something happened between them in the Legends of Thesmar series as well that means that they start this book on quite a bad foot. Like they're not getting along. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. I rated this 4.5 stars. I read the last installment of the Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts, so this book is Fearless, and I, honest to God, absolutely loved this book. I won't go into this because obviously it's book 3, so it would just, if I told you what it's about, it's just going to spoil the other 2 books if you've not read it. So I won't go into it, but this, for the final book, gave me everything that I wanted it to give. I was shocked, I was laughing, I was crying, I was on the edge of my seat. It honestly gave me everything that I wanted it to. The outcome of everything was, I couldn't have asked for anything better. The only thing I would say was that I feel like throughout the books, I feel like in book 2, Kai could have fought for Paden more, and in this book I feel like Paden could have fought for Kai more. That's it. But overall, the way everything wrapped up, everything that happened, it was just perfect. I absolutely loved it, and this was a 5-star read for me. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Now, if you know me, you know Emily Henry is one of my favourite authors of all time, and I love Emily Henry because I love the way that she tells a story. I love the way that she writes. I would say Emily Henry is definitely more literary fiction with romance in it, rather than just like full-on romance books. Like her books, for example, Beach Read, it is a romance book, yeah, sure, but the characters have always got something else that they're focused on rather than just the romance, if that makes any sense at all. But this one felt completely different because in this book we're following Alice and Hayden, and Alice and Hayden are basically both competing in a way kind of to kind of get the rights to write a book about Margaret Ives, who she's like an heiress who used to be in the papers all the time. She was like a socialite, like she was everywhere. There was like scandal, gossip, she was just everywhere, and then she disappeared for years. No one knows why, no one really knows the true story of what went on in her life. So Alice and Hayden are both basically on this trial period with Margaret, and then at the end of the week, or however long it is, Margaret is going to decide which one of them she wants to write her story. So obviously because of that, Alice and Hayden meet and they're in close proximity. But not only are we getting the story of Alice and Hayden, which is where the romance comes in, but we are also getting the past POV of like Margaret and what actually happened. So it's kind of like 2 stories at once, which I thought was really interesting. I really, really enjoyed it. It did feel like a totally different style of Emily Henry book, but not in a bad way. Like I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the writing was brilliant, as always. I love the way Emily Henry tells a story. The only reason I didn't rate this as highly as I would rate some of her other books, for example, Funny Story and Beach Read, was just because I felt like I really like the banter that Emily Henry writes. Like she writes really good witty dialogue between the 2 main characters, like lots of banter, but I didn't feel like it had it as much in this book, and I was kind of missing it a little bit. But overall, like, still brilliant, still highly recommend, 4.5-star read, loved it. Last but not least of the physical books, I read my favourite book of the year so far, and that is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I included this as part of a reading vlog that I did, which I think is my last video that I posted, where I spoke about this quite a lot. So if you've watched that video, I'm going to try not to repeat myself too much here. But this is a dystopian fantasy romance, and it is incredible. So our female main character, Ren, is what's called a modified. So she's got like really good, like she's got a lot of psychic powers and psychic abilities. But being a modified in this world means certain death. Like if anyone found out that she was a modified, she would be dead. Well, some people know, like her fellow modifieds know, but they're kind of like they say hidden, no one knows they're a modified, So yeah. Anyway, something happens and Ren accidentally lands herself in the elite training camp of the Enigma. So the people that would kill Ren if they found out she's a modified, she's now in their training camp to become one of their elites. So as part of that, she's obviously having to hide who she is. She's having to come off less powerful than she is. Like, she's having to act like she doesn't have the powers that she's got. She's having to try and get kicked out of the camp because she's like, I need to get out of here. But also, of course, she's spending every day with these people in this training camp. So there's a lot of found family elements. There's a lot of tension between Ren and the commanding officer of the training camp. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. It is brilliant. Ren is like such a badass FMC as well, which is, that I'm gonna love it straight away because I love a badass FMC. Like, those are my absolute favorites. She knows her shit. Like, oh my God, I love her so much. The tension, the slow burn, the high stakes of it all. The world building is not like, you don't just get like 200 pages of world building at the start. No, the world building, as soon as you open the book and you start reading, you're just in the story straight away, and the world building just is woven through it as you go along. So it's so easy to follow. It doesn't feel like you're just getting info dump. It is, honest to God, like my favorite read of the year so far. I am quite obsessed. At the time I'm posting this, I'm posting this on the 5th of May, I think. So it's out on the 6th of May. So run to go and read it. I honestly could not recommend it enough. Then on to things that I read on my Kindle. So I read Bridesmaid for Hire? Bridesmaid by Chance. Book 3 in that Bridesmaid series by Megan Quinn. I think it's Bridesmaid by Chance. I love Megan Quinn. I'm going to start by saying I love Megan Quinn. She's one of my favourite rom-com authors. This is the first book of hers that I have not liked. I don't know if I'm the problem because everyone is saying that it's like her funniest book ever. I didn't find it funny. And I just didn't like the characters. The two main characters, I didn't like either of them. I found them both so insufferable and so annoying. Which, this is the first time this has happened for me in a Megan Quinn book. I am usually in love with the characters, laughing my head off, like having the best time. But I don't know what it was for me. I just did not vibe with these two characters at all. The tropes that you've got are grumpy sunshine, boss, employee, age gap, and fake dating. Is it fake dating? I've kind of erased a lot of it from my memory, to be honest. Yeah, in a way it is fake dating. There's like fake dating elements in there as well. So yeah, I don't recommend this book. I rated it 2.5 stars. I didn't enjoy it at all. It took me, like, it was difficult to get through it, honestly. But I don't want that to put, if you've not read a Megan Quinn book, please don't let that put you off because she is brilliant. I love so many of her books, so many of her series. I've read literally every book that she's got out there. So yeah, this was the only one of hers that I haven't liked. So yeah. Don't know what else to say about that, really. I read The Rest of Me by Ashley Munoz. This was my book club's pick, and this basically follows our female main character is a single mum. She's got quite a few kids, I think like 4 maybe? I don't know, I can't remember the exact number. And the guy that lives next door to her in this place that she's moved to, and they get really close. The female main character is a widow, so she's just going through a lot, trying to raise her kids on her own. The guy that lives next door, he kind of like steps in. He helps a lot, the kids really get close to him, and then they find something out that they both didn't realise, and it kind of, yeah, shit hits the fan. It was predictable, I'll be honest, like I knew where it was going, I knew what was going to happen, and then I found the ending really unrealistic because like after what had happened and what you'd found out, you just wouldn't be together after that. Like, it was just, yeah, I don't know. I just found it predictable. It's an easy read, and like if you are looking for like a small town romance, yeah, cool, go for it. But I just wasn't, not really that bothered, to be honest. So I rated this a 2.75 stars. I know I spoke about Iron and Embers before, which is book 1 of the Ashes of Thesmar series, but on my Kindle, before I read that, I read the books 2, 3 and 4 of the Legends of Thesmar series, which I absolutely adore. The Legends of Thesmar series follows Ren, female main character Ren, and she basically, all of Ren's life, she's wanted to be like a warrior, a fighter. She's wanted to just like help her kingdom, her place where she lives. Like, she just wanted to be a warrior. She wants to be a war sword, which are like the best warriors in their kingdom, in their world. And she can't because women are forbidden from having weapons due to a prophecy that was told years prior. So women can't have weapons. So Ren kind of like tries to train herself in secret and whatnot. Anyway, and Ren ends up crossing paths with Wilder Hawthorne, who is a war sword. And that's really where the story begins. I can't honestly say any more than that without spoiling it, but I will tell you there's so much found family, there's so much tension, so much slow burn, so much like action, fighting scenes, battle scenes, weird creatures, everything. It's incredible, it's amazing. It's a 5-star series overall. Then, last book to talk about is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I was really lucky to get an ARC on NetGalley of this book. I love Ashley Poston, she's one of my favourite authors. I think her writing is brilliant. And I think that this is one of my favourite books of hers, probably following on from The 7-Year Slip. Oh my god, I loved this so much. So basically, female main character and male main character both hear this tune in their head. They're both connected to music in some way, like he's a music artist and she's a songwriter. So they're both connected to the music in some way, and they're both hearing this tune in their head, and then they can start to hear each other in their head, but they don't know who the other person is. They just know that it's this voice in their head that they can speak to, and they're both hearing the same tune. And yeah, that's where the whole magical realism elements come into it. It's so good. Oh my god, the writing is perfect, the romance is great. Oh my god, it's just everything. It's just everything. And I honestly think it's one of her best books. It is one of her best books. It was so good. I could not put it down. I loved it so much. Don't want to say too much about it because it's not out yet, but you're gonna love it. And that concludes my April reading wrap up. It was probably my best month so far, my best month of 2025 so far. I had 2 5-star reads? Was it 2? 3 5-star reads, Conditions of Will, Silver Elite, and Fearless. So 3 5-star reads in 1 month. What? So good. Yeah, loads of like books that were close to 5 stars as well. So I just had a brilliant month. I just had a brilliant month. April tends to always be my best month, I think, with new releases. You will have noticed as well that I have done star ratings in this video, which is something that I've not done for a while, but honestly, I just miss doing it. I find it hard to like talk about books and not say, oh, rated this 4 stars, rated this 5 stars. So obviously everyone's gonna rate a book differently. What I consider to be 5 stars, you might rate books differently. You might consider it to be 3 stars. We all have different opinions on everything anyway. So just take the ratings with a pinch of salt. I just kind of missed giving a rating. So yeah, I just wanted to include it again. Let me know what you guys read this month. Let me know what you've been loving, what you've been not enjoying, anything, just let me know. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.